Many friendly faces, a lot of the people that I miss very, very much at the Bhakti Center. Thank you. Thank you for letting me be here and share my enthusiasm for Bhagavatam, for being with the devotees. I'm so grateful and, as always, very, very honored. I am always like, how did I end up here with this community of amazing Vaishnavas? Thank you, Adi Purusha Prabhu, I just get so much inspiration of how you just glorify the Lord with so much heart. And I want to be like that so much. So thank you for your glowing example.
Prabhupada says, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder.
Okay, well, today we're continuing with Srimad Bhagavatam. Let's see, we are on Canto 10, chapter 15. And so continuing, and shout out to Gaura Sharan yesterday, who I was captivated by him retelling the Lila. They got a lot of inspiration from that. So we'll continue with this. I usually like to chant the Sanskrit, but there are several verses, so we'll do the English. Okay, let's see. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Yasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashta Praye Sabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. I was thinking about what does it mean to engage with Bhagavatam as the person. And it's just such an amazing, fantastical thing. It's beyond my comprehension, but we can feel it. There's a relationship that we have with Bhagavatam, with Krishna, with all of the glorious pastimes and all of the personalities that are there. And then just speaking about it, we become part of it, just like the sages. Speaking about it becomes part of it. And then are we part of this Bhagavatam because we're retelling the stories over and over. And so in this way, it just becomes a perpetual thing. It never ends. It will never end. And it's just going on. So we have some part to play in it. And that to me just seems incredible. Okay, so we're continuing. So today is 32 through 35. We have Veda Vase Uvacha. Okay. So yesterday, with 31, we had this demon, Dhenukasura, he was kicking Balaram. And so continuing with 32, text 32, Lord Balaram sees Dhenuka. Lord Balaram seized Dhenuka by his hooves, whirled him about with one hand and threw him into the top of a palm tree. The violent wheeling motion killed the demon. Text 33, Lord Balaram threw the dead body of Dhenukasura into the tallest palm tree in the forest. And when the dead demon landed in the treetop, the tree began shaking. The great palm tree, causing a tree by its side also to shake, broke under the weight of the demon. The neighboring tree caused yet another tree to shake, and this one struck yet another tree, which also began to shake. In this way, many trees in the forest shook and broke. There's a short purport to that. Lord Balaram threw the demon Dhenuka so violently into the great palm tree that a chain reaction was unleashed, and many towering palm trees shook and then broke with a great crashing sound. Text 34. Because of Lord Balaram's pastime of throwing the body of the ass demon into the top of the tallest palm tree, all the trees began shaking and striking against one another, as if blown about by powerful winds. Text 35. My dear Parikshit, that Lord Balaram killed Dhenukasura is not such a wonderful thing, considering that he is the unlimited personality of Godhead, the controller of the entire universe. Indeed, the entire cosmos rests upon him, just as a woven cloth rests upon its own horizontal and vertical threads. Purport. Unfortunate persons cannot appreciate the blissful pastimes of the Supreme Lord. In this connection, Srila Jiva Goswami explains that the Supreme Lord possesses unlimited potency and strength, as expressed here by the word Anante. The Lord exhibits a tiny fraction of his power according to the need of a particular situation. Lord Balaram desired to vanquish the gang of demoniac asses who had unlawfully seized the Talavana forest, and therefore he exhibited just enough divine opulence to easily kill Dhenukasura and the other demons. So these all glories to the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, who translated and gave purports to this part of the Srimad Bhagavatam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all glories to the assembled devotees. Om Jnana-timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvya Vacha Patitanam Pavanevyo Vaishnavevyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I wanted to make a comment on Gora Sharan's his class yesterday, because what was so beautiful that really stuck out to me was there was a competition of love going on between the cowherd boys and Krishna Balaram, where he was mentioning that they wanted their desire for the fruits of this forest that were smelling so beautifully wasn't just so that they could enjoy them for themselves, but they wanted to enjoy with Krishna, and they wanted to enjoy with Balaram, and they wanted to feed them. And Krishna and Balaram then in turn satisfied their desire. And it just, there's if we read the Lila in the Krishna book, there's even more of this explanation. And it struck me as so powerful, so beautiful, this competition of love. And we're always in so much competition with each other, sometimes even with ourselves. But is this the appropriate use of this competitive nature? How can I love you more? And I have recently it's been going on since maybe before the holidays. Someone sent me something, and then I sent the thank you card, and then she sent another thank you card, and then I sent another gift, and then I got another thank you card. And we're just, where does it end? You know, what does it feel like when we have this desire, when we really appreciate? Do we even notice when someone, and her philosophy is never let a kind deed go unthanked, to notice it, to appreciate it, to acknowledge it, and then to give back. And then we just keep doing this over and over. And this seems to me like an appropriate use of this competitive nature that we sometimes have. How can I give you more? I just want to love you more. And how can I serve you even more? And how can I develop that with Krishna? And the first thing that starts is by seeing how he's fulfilling our desires, like the cowherd boys. It takes us having appropriate vision to see when our desires are being fulfilled. Sometimes it doesn't look the way that we think it will look. The cowherd boys weren't sitting around bemoaning the fact that there were demons in the forest. They realized it, they recognized, well, no one but you can go in there for fear of being killed. So they acknowledged that there's some danger. but then they brought it to Krishna's attention. And sometimes it happens that we can sit with what looks like some unfortunate thing happening. But do we have a tendency to get stuck there instead of seeing the opportunity in the gift and the opportunity in these situations? And what is the opportunity? The opportunity is to say, my dear Lord, this is what's happening. This is a fearful situation. No one but you can go in there and take care of it. But it's always in relationship to him. And there was something in this, in these purports about Balaram just using just enough strength to kill the demons. And he has to use very little because he's so powerful. He has so much strength. And it's just the tiniest bit. And so where I'm struggling and everything seems so difficult, how is this going to happen? How is this going to be sorted out? Who can do this? I don't understand. But for Krishna, for Balaram, it's nothing. It's just, this is the sense that we get. He took the demon with one hand and he whirled him around and he just flicked him over. But I can't do that. The cowherd boys couldn't do it. The whole lot of them couldn't do it. But what's difficult for me is like a blink of an eye to him. And so there's a feeling of safety in that. There's a feeling of relief, but only if we take the opportunity to bring it to Krishna. And so Krishna and Balaram, and we can't underestimate, we forget sometimes that for them, because he's holding, this is what is mentioned, because he's holding the entire universe, all of the universes, the entire creation is just being held. Of course he can do all of these things. There's nothing that can't be accomplished. But it requires us to have this mood of remembering. And these are the moments, if the things that are difficult, if the things that seem like a forest full of asses or demons is the scary thing, but that's also the opportunity, then perhaps we can start to see the gift and the opportunity and the things that are uncomfortable. And then it becomes our doorway into experiencing Krishna Lila, experiencing his protection, experiencing the quality of strength that Balaram brings us. So there's an idea. There's a devotee who is they have correlated the demons in Krishna Lila with our own anartas. And this Dhenukasura, he's related to the anarta of ignorance, of forgetfulness. So ignorance of who we are, ignorance of who Krishna is, ignorance of the oneness of Balaram and Krishna. And there was something in the way that the Lila happened, that he took one demon and he just flung it over, and it caused this chain reaction. And so similarly, there's a chain reaction when we turn over one thing to Krishna, and then it begins this chain reaction of getting rid of all of the demons, the anartas in our heart, so that we can experience our true nature. And it can seem overwhelming. Wow, I have so many issues, so many problems, so many things going on. How is this going to happen? But Krishna just needs to tip over. Balaram just needs to tip over one thing, and the chain reaction begins. And we can look back in our lives from before we engaged in spiritual practice, before we started taking shelter in the Vaishnavas. We've come a long way, and that's to be acknowledged, because this is by Krishna's mercy. So I was reading something this morning by Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, and he's saying that It's not mercy alone, but it's also not effort alone. It's both. We have to put in some effort, the effort of saying, dear Krishna, this is what's happening. And please come with me, go into the forest and do something so that we can clear the heart of these demons, of these anartas. And then by his mercy, he goes in. But it's not just by my own endeavor. I don't have that power. I can't do that. But it's not just by his mercy. Krishna has a lot of things to do. And so if we think we don't need help, he's just going to let us go on our way and figure it out. So appropriate endeavor, intelligence, having the discernment of knowing what I can do, what I can't do, and having an appropriate understanding of what is for me to endeavor in and what is for Krishna to endeavor in. And so is there something, if the ass, Dhenukasura, is being likened to the ignorance that is in the heart, and we can think about what does this represent. So if we think of an ass, they work very, very hard for only a little bit of food, for scraps, just whatever they give them. There's no intelligence there to know. And this is why they're used as cargo animals and things like that. So there's inefficient endeavor for just the tiniest little bit. So in that song, Bhajahure Mana, Govinda Das says, both in the day and night, I remain sleepless, suffering the pains of the heat and cold, the wind and the rain. For a fraction of flickering happiness, I've uselessly served wicked and miserly men. So I'm putting my endeavor into something that's just giving me what? Little bit of scraps of material things in this world. That's where my endeavor is going to. And I'm subjecting myself to all of these difficult, miserable situations for what? And so that's what it means, I think, to have proper endeavor. But we have to realize first what's happening, where we are. Why am I suffering? Why am I in difficulty? Where am I endeavoring? Am I endeavoring to try to kill the demons by myself? Or am I endeavoring to turn it all over to Krishna? And I'm wondering if anyone has any ideas about this connection between the ignorance and the ass. What is it? What is it trying to show us? So there was also, I'm just going back to the purport.
Hare Krishna, could I give it a try?
Yes, please. Who is that? Who do I hear? I hear a beautiful voice, but I don't.
It's Ananda Manjari.
Ananda Manjari, Haribol.
Hare Krishna. When you asked this question, I actually thought about teachings of Lord Jesus when he shows, I think it's a lily or like a field flower, and he just says, if God can dress this flower so beautifully, why wouldn't we trust that we can be provided for and taken care of? And so this idea of a donkey endeavoring for very little that they can actually get themselves if they just go and get some grass. I'm just reminded of coming back to the simple truth that Krishna will take care of us, and if we just surrender, there is nothing else to worry about.
Yeah, Ananda Manjari, thank you. That's beautiful. Yeah, Prabhupada shared this similar sentiment with us around that, about not worrying about the basic things, about being sustained. Vishnu sustains everything. Krishna sustains us. But we're in a world that says otherwise, because if we believe that we need to work like asses and endeavor to have even our basic needs met, then that keeps us working, like the song says, for others. And so is it my business and my concern of how these basic things are going to be met? And this is what Prabhupada says too, similar to what Jesus was speaking of why worry about those things. But it's hard. It takes a lot of endeavor. It feels as if I won't be able to do it. I have to do something. I have to really endeavor. I have to think about it. I have to work it out. I have to come up with this plan, this scheming of just trying to keep the soul in the body together, of how am I going to feed myself? How am I going to support my family? All of these things. But it's something that's worth exploring. What does Krishna say about this? What do our acharyas say about this? What is it? If we just let go and surrender, what would happen? Will he catch me? And this is where our faith comes in. So yeah, this is and it's a practice. It's not just, I will just not do anything and wait for Krishna to save me. That's not it either. That this empowers us to have a victim mentality. Because then we're just putting it all on someone else, or we're putting it all on Krishna. But we're meant to do it together. The cowherd boys went in with Krishna, with Balaram. They didn't try to do it alone. But it's also very real that it's scary. They were afraid. And so we can be afraid too. It's not, because there's fear doesn't mean, well, okay, there's two things. Because a pure devotee has no fear. Actually, that is the symptom of a pure devotee, that there is no fear. Or is it that there's fear, but we know what to do with it, and we give it all to Krishna? And so maybe it's both. Maybe there are people and there are devotees that get to this place of, but how do we get there? So I've experienced fear over and over again. This is very scary. And I keep bringing it to Krishna. And then I keep seeing that he does take care. And then I get to the point where I've already practiced that so much, and I know how it's going to go, how the Lila goes. And then one day I'm just not afraid anymore because the certainty is there. But in the meantime, until we get there, we are afraid, and being afraid can be the doorway, is the doorway to being able to present that to him. So while it's true that not having fear, to be fearless, like Srila Prabhupada, is a sign of a pure devotee, there's also the way to get there, that when we do have fear, we bring it to Krishna. And it doesn't mean that because I have fear, that something is wrong, that I've made some mistake. It just means that there's fear, that I get to engage. I get the opportunity to do it with him, and to present it to him, and to be in Lila with him. So I'm wondering also if anyone has anything to share about that, because it is very real that there's fear. It's scary, and it seems as if we won't be able to. Bhima, Hare Krishna. And so I want to hear from Bhima, and then Ananda Manjari.
Bhim Dhenukasura, we can't hear you. We can't hear you, Bhima Prabhu. Did you notice his full name?
I just saw that. I'm wondering.
Bhima Prabhu, we can't hear you. We cannot.
Hare Krishna.
Bhima. Oh my God. Bhima, stop. We can't.
I think his voice got taken away when he was swung around by Balaram.
Bhima Prabhu, you have to disconnect, tune out, tune back in.
Oh, we're going to be on the edge of our seats now.
No, 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 no. It didn't do it. No, Bhima Prabhu. No, no, no. Let me put you back in the waiting room.
Okay, let's see. Ananda Manjari and then Bhakta Hugo.
Maybe I'll let Hugo go first because I already spoken, so I would like to make it a little bit more fair this way.
Okay, thank you, Ananda Manjari.
Hare Krishna. Lila
Hare
Devi
Krishna.
Dasi. Thank you for offering your time and energy for giving us class. Regarding kind of fearlessness, I think of Srila Prabhupada, and we can all agree he was, a fearless devotee in the true sense of the word. But even in that fearlessness, he would say that fearlessness is maintained by Krishna. And I'm remembering one particular pastime when he was with devotees. I don't remember the context or the full breadth of the conversation, but Srila Prabhupada would say that the devotees are not sufficiently afraid of Maya. And he would say, I will never fall down. And the devotees were like, wow, Prabhupada will never fall down. And then later they saw Srila Prabhupada praying in the temple before Radha and Krishna. And they go, Prabhupada, what were you praying for in the temple? And he says, I'm praying that I will never fall down. And they would say, but Prabhupada, you just said you will never fall down. And Prabhupada said, yes, because I pray to Radha and Krishna that I will never fall down, I will never fall down. So I'm thinking of that kind of goes along with that idea of offering fear to Krishna and just understanding that it's by his mercy that we can accomplish anything and stay graceful in this world.
Hi, thank you so much, Bhakta Hugo. It's so beautiful. So that we don't get the wrong idea that fear is something that can't actually help us, because the reality is, and I do want to hear from Ananda. I just want to share this. Two things. Well, I woke up this morning and I have this picture of Prabhupada that's right in front of 26 2nd Avenue. And when I see it, it reminds me, he did so much for us. And so I was thinking, Prabhupada, sometimes I can barely get out of bed and you got on a boat to come here. And so it's really inspiring. But I was thinking, what you're saying about fear is that, and this is with almost any emotion that we can feel very strongly, especially the ones that are uncomfortable, because it's not that Krishna is to be found. It's not that our practice is so that Krishna is to be found in some future faraway time or faraway place. It's the practice so that we can find Krishna in every single moment, not over there somewhere. It's here. And so that's in everything, in the fear, in the confusion, in the bewilderment, in the happy moments, in the gratitude, in the fruits, in the sweet smelling forest, in all of it. He's not out there, he's here. And so that means that everything that is happening here is a potential doorway for us to engage with him. I just wanted to share that. So Ananda Manjari, and then we'll get to hear from Bhima.
Thank you so much. I just want to say I absolutely love the point. Everything can be a doorway to connecting with the Lord, and just offering whatever we are going through and trying to connect with him to that. A point I wanted to make, and it was also partially a reflection of what you said, just in different words, is what I've heard is this shift from not even trying to decrease the fear, but actually trying to increase our faith. That when we have more faith and when we build this faith, then we can just have the tools to deal with the fear that it's no longer as big as it otherwise may be. And it also brings me to a point I recently heard by His Holiness Radhana Swami about desires. And I just was listening to a series of lectures on overcoming our desires and transforming them. And this one point that he made, which I think relates to the idea of fear, that it's not even that we don't have the material desires, but that when they do come, we know what to do with them and how to control our senses. And so at the time when we are at the stages of purification, what's important for us is to just stay where we are, but acknowledge that we know what to do. And so in the sense of having no fear or having fear, and also having the tools to engage with Krishna through our fear and surrender to him deeper, it's simply about, as you just said, finding a way to use it as a doorway to connect with him more.
I really like that point. I appreciate that, because and this is evident. I mean, this is how the pastime starts off. The cowherd boys had desires, and it's not that our desires are the thing that's wrong. It's about what we're desiring for. It's about having misinformed desires. And what is a misinformed desire? Is thinking that this thing is going to give me the satisfaction that I want. There's nothing wrong with the desire. As a matter of fact, this is what the jiva does. The soul desires, but it's a pure desire to just be in relationship with Krishna, and to be serving Krishna and enjoying with Krishna. So desire itself is not the issue. And this is what our practice is, to have those desires, but to have them be purified. And what does purified mean? It means that they are directed towards Krishna. And sometimes I think that little subtlety gets lost, where we think I should have no desires. But that's not possible, because we are jivas. We're made up of the desire to be in relationship with Krishna, to serve and to give, and to be in that competition of love with Krishna. This is our appropriate desire. Thank you, Ananda Manjari. So many wonderful things. Bhima Prabhu.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. So can you see what I'm looking at right now?
Yeah, who is this?
This is little Rocky. He's not a donkey, but he's a pony, so he's just as stubborn. And he's doing something he shouldn't be doing, which is eating the bird food.
Oh.
Yes. So this is like us. Now, Krishna is, now as I approach him, because his conditioning is he's come from an abused background, he's a rescue, and he's walking away from me because I'm telling him no, he can't have the bird feed. And he won't let me, in order to do the things that I need to do to clean him, to lead him to his real food, to turn him out into greener pastures. I have to, can you see what I'm holding up here?
Oh, it's a rope.
It's a lasso. So this is sort of like us in the movement. We, because of our past conditioning, fearful of the material world, we tend to be automatically conditioned fearful of Krishna's trying to help us, which when Krishna does try to help us, he does have to take us away from things we shouldn't be doing. And Krishna uses the lasso of devotees, the lasso of the guru, the lasso sometimes of allowing Maya to poke us a little bit, where there are three prongs. So the Lila of Dhanakasura is sort of plays out not only in my life, but in the life that surrounds me, in that we have innocent animals who have been conditioned to fear. And as you can see, he's attached to doing what he wants to do. But as I approach him, he runs away. And this is somehow what we do sometimes as devotees, that when Krishna approaches us and says, that's enough of that, we actually distance ourselves from the situation. And we have to realize that most often with change comes loss of our attachment. And then most importantly, loss of our trust in our attachment. So anyways, I just like to say that because the Lila speaks so closely to what my everyday life is like personally, and also the stubborn animals like myself. We tend to be surrounded by those who are our association. We become like our association. Yeah, so wonderful, beautiful class and discussion. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Bhima Prabhu, for this show and tell. Yeah, nothing gets it to go in yeah, seeing the lasso and seeing I forgot his name already. Kali Yuga.
Rocky.
Rocky.
Yeah. Oh, Rocky.
He came with his name. He's a real fighter.
Well, I hope he gets to hear Krishna's names. And then perhaps
He does. I chant around them all day, and I offer their hay to Devadatta, which is Krishna's horse, when he will be Kalki. When Krishna comes back as Kalki, he has a horse called Devadatta. And so I tell them stories, tell the horses the stories of Kalki, of when they will be able to serve Krishna directly.
Oh, Bhima, this is compassion. This is the compassion of a Vaishnava. We're seeing it in action in Bhima. This is amazing. I really appreciate that.
Bhima, the Devadatta worshipper.
Wow, this is great. I saw there was a quote here. Someone mentioned there is nowhere that Krishna isn't.
There's a beautiful
feel
quote
the
that
fear and
Andrea-
do it anyway. Yeah. Here it is. Love of God is pure when joy and suffering inspire an equal degree of gratitude. By Simone Weil, shared by Rukmini Walker. Yeah, that sounds really good. Wow. Let's see. Who else? Does anyone else have anything they'd like to share? We have a few minutes left. And I thought I saw, oh, yeah, Adipurusha.
Unmute Adipurusha. Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Uh-oh.
Wonderful class.
There's Akashvani Adipurusha Prabhu.
Trying. Can you hear me now? Oh gosh.
You have to go in the back of the room, I guess.
Yeah.
Or turn the sound off and
Hare Krishna. No, it's not going to work. Hare Krishna.
Just walk in the back.
I guess somebody else has to talk.
well, I just wanted to share, I do want to hear from Adipurusha, as always, the wisdom. But I do want to share that if we allow for this process, then Balaram can return our hearts to the pure state, just like he can return this beautiful forest back to something where he can enjoy with Krishna, where they can enjoy the fruits. We are dealing with all of these anarthas and all of this conditioning, but it's important to remember that it's proper endeavor also means realizing that we are pure at the deepest level of our being, that there's nothing to fix, there's nothing to, so much endeavor, I have to fix this, I have to change that, and this thing and that thing. And like Bhakta Hugo was saying, I think it was Bhakta Hugo who mentioned, or someone mentioned about this. But this proper endeavor is to just turn it over. Sometimes we can. I think what I'm wanting to say is, let us be compassionate towards ourselves and towards others. And sometimes we can be a bit judgmental towards ourselves. I know I can. So always something wrong, always something to fix, always, oh, this thing, I wish I were different, or seeing it in others. But we already are pure. And it's just a matter of realizing that there's nothing to change. And so that's sometimes our effort to change this or be better at that. It's just a matter of recognizing that we already are. And so that then we don't chase our tails per se in trying to, fix ourselves. there's nothing to fix. It's just a matter of remembering that we already are pure, that we already are with Krishna. There's nowhere that he isn't. I heard recently in a class by Hridayananda Maharaj, he was saying that Krishna is in everything. How was it that he said that? Do you remember how he said this? Krishna is in, okay, one second, because I want to get this right.
Who was that Shiksha person that you turned to? Who's that?
We have some guests here, but I can't turn the computer. Krishna, it was about Krishna being everywhere, and Krishna being in everything. And so everything is everywhere. Everything is Krishna. There's nowhere that he isn't. I think, yeah, I may just have misquoted it, but okay, I think Adi Purusha, are you back, Prabhu?
Try. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, wonderful class. You made a really nice point about turning to Krishna and how, there's everything in the spiritual world. There's laughter, there's discussion, and there's even fear. Mother Jasoda, if I don't feed Krishna, he'll die. But that fear is based on pleasing Krishna and love. And it's so interesting to remember, we were just reading, without surrendering to Krishna, we cannot become loving or fearless. So if we leave out the idea of, Lord, I'm yours, you can do what you want with me, whether you kick me or embrace me, I just want to serve you into this circumstance, then we can be fearless because there's nothing to protect, nothing to lose, nothing to desire, no hankering, no lamentation, right? Without surrender to Krishna, we really can't be fearless. It says, Sarvadhamma Parityaya Masajaha. Surrender, do not fear. They go hand in hand, right?
Yeah.
Not just that a dull stone doesn't fear, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about willingly offering ourselves to the Lord for his purposes. Lord, I'm available. Use me as you like. Yeah?
Jai.
You know that.
Yes. We start off with, okay, and thank you so much, everyone. But we start off with the offering of our fear, the offering of our endeavors, and then ultimately we're just offering our entire selves back to Krishna. And so it's a practice. But what was that?
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
And we can always be assured that Krishna has a lasso. If we stay in the vicinity of the rope of the devotees, of the rope of the temple, of the rope of Shastra, and most importantly, the rope of the holy name, then we will always get a nice encouragement vis-a-vis direct connection to Krishna. So, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, so on that note of letting ourselves be caught by Krishna, by the Vaishnavas, by the holy name, and stop struggling so much. Because that's sometimes, I don't know, just let ourselves be caught. And then he does, he will hold us, he has us. But for me, I need to be around all of you to remember that. Otherwise, I'm in bewilderment. And then I think that it's by my own endeavor that it will happen. And so association with the Vaishnavas. This is our goal, to associate. And we can get that by associating. And this is our greatest treasure. I think I say that every time I come here. This is, at least for me, it's my greatest treasure. I cannot have Krishna without the Vaishnavas. I just can't. I can't do it by my own endeavor. And so all of you are my wealth. And I really mean that. When I'm around the Vaishnavas, when I'm around other devotees, I feel so wealthy. There's nothing missing. And it's really important to remember that. So I thank all of you for your presence, for being here, for letting me come and talk to you and learn from you. So thank you all very much. I think at 8 we finish. Is that correct?
Yeah, Lila, what's that on your neck? Is that a lasso?
I have 2 because I'm a rascal and I just keep struggling.
Nice, beautiful class. Great. And it's not just you, everybody, all the devotees say that it's by the association of the devotees that everything becomes available to us. Freedom from fear, anxiety. Yeah. So, Radha Muladhar, it's darshan time. Lila Devi Ki Jai. Thank you so much. Jai. So stick around for the darshan. Turn your cameras on. Krishna will see you. If Adipurusha Prabhu will stop shaking and put us in the donation box.
Ki Jai. Gaurachandra Ki Jai.
Adi. Adi. There's no video. All right. We couldn't see Krishna, but Krishna can see us. So that's good. All right. It's Afterglow. Does anyone want to share anything or reflect? Yeah. Lila, thank you very much. I like the line that you made. Lila, what was it? Lila knows how the Lila goes, you said. Lila, yeah, stop struggling. It's a Lila. Yeah, thank you very much. That's my takeaway. Lila knows how the Lila goes.
Jai, thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Okay, it was nice seeing you all. Jeffrey Eckler Prabhu, Bhim Danu Kasur in his humility, William Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Bruce, Sundaranandaji, William, Reach on the Path of Devotion, Yogeshwari, Susan, Sharmila, Sharita, Rupesh Kumar the Fifth, Isabel, Isa Spirit Soul, Dana Krishna's Radharani, Dana Keli Prabhu. Thank you very much. You're our family. Srimad Bhagavatam never ends, Lila said. Lila never ends. So thank you so much, Lila, once again. We look forward to your class next time. And have a wonderful day. Go into the forest full of asses. And this is a doorway into Krishna Lila.
Have her back more often. What is this once a month program?
Yeah, okay.
More often,
More
Lila.
often. Okay.
Often, Lila.
More Lila.
More Lila. Hare Krishna. Thank you
Hare
all.
Krishna. Hare Bol.